DXY. So welcome to our live trading session. It is June 2nd, so let's get it going.
Enable.
Yep, got you. So as always, these sessions are recorded. These sessions are put on YouTube afterwards for you guys to rewatch. So keep that in mind. And yeah, let's get started with DXY.
All right, you guys can see my chart.
Yep.
All right, so this thing's looking pretty freaking crazy right now. Let's just zoom out for a second, get an overall sentiment on the daily time frame. So again, this is DXY, US dollar index. Makes up for 80% of all trade. It is considered the reserve currency of the world. It's very, it's just the strength of the dollar, and it typically, depending if this has strong movement or not, it will affect most other currency pairs. Kind of like we're seeing at the start of this week, which is pretty interesting. So let's get right to it. So if we're on the daily here, we can see that this is clearly super bullish, right? Very, very strong channel, bullish channel, a good amount of volume, pretty big range here. But yes, very, very bullish. So now we actually see price action on this daily time frame. We have, how many days is that? Let's take a look. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days of bearish volume in a row. 7. It's a whole week of bearish volume. This thing has just been tanking all the way down to this lower trend line, right? So, definitely on the lower time frame, we're bearish here. Let's go ahead and drop to a 4-hour. See, look how steep this trend is. This is like a nice bearish channel. All right, let's go ahead and just copy this, get an outline, roughly, something like that. Super, super bearish. Super bearish. So in order, so this is showing like a lot of bearish volume, obviously. Not that great for the dollar. We want to see a little more stability rather than it just kind of fall off or like take off or fall off. Right now we are hitting, again, the bottom of that trend line. So, there's 2 ways that this could go. Ideally, I mean, if it could blow right through this trend line and through this channel and continue down towards this monthly, which would be a huge move all the way down to 96. You guys can see here, 96 flat. But let's take a look at the daily for a second again. So that would be a huge move. If it did fall out, this would be hinting at a bearish transition, and that would actually be breaking this bullish channel. Definitely a little unlikely. This over here is news related, so this doesn't really count. You have to just look at normal, normal market conditions, normal market structure. Has been playing within this channel for quite a long time, all the way back since August. So if it does break here, this could be a higher time frame transition to the downside, kind of hinting at further bearish volume to enter the market. I mean, obviously, as we know, the economy is looking pretty bad. All these reports are coming out. The market's pricing in everything from Corona to everything that's going on right now. It's not looking that great for the U.S. So naturally, it's going to drop. But let's say, so this is just staying with the trend on the 4-hour. This is probably the preferred path. Always want to ride the trend. We're always going to look for more bearish volume in a situation like this, right? Super, super steep. So nothing really yet, especially fundamentally, is saying, hey, it's going to reverse. We're going to see a strong bounce from here, other than just straight technicals. So in order to start seeing a bullish transition, start looking for long positions, we really want to see a break of this. I'm going to mark this. I'm just going to mark this in blue so it's easier to see. It's a lower time frame. Again, this is lower time frame structure. This is more like a 1-hour. So if this is to break out for us to consider longs, we really need to get back up into this range. We need to see something like this, right? A break of this lower high, first formation of a higher low, and then a strong push back into this range. So this is essentially what we want to see. I want to make this orange because it's less likely to happen right now. Always ride the trend first. That's always the most likely trade path. So then let's just zoom out a second.
Zooming out. What is this, DXY?
Yep. So again, this is the preferred trade path right now, just riding with the trend based on everything that's going on. All the negativity in the U.S. economy right now is just pushing price action lower, 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 lower. Right. So we could see it continue all the way down to our monthly, or, again, if we do see some sort of bounce from this area, let's say we do get a crap load of buyers right at the bottom of this, a higher time frame channel. We just want to look for these transitions. So this would be like a 1-hour transition in here. And then, 4-hour transition would be back above this 98.5 area, which is another level right in here. Hopefully you guys can see that. So I'm just highlighting these micro levels, right? We just want to be aware of what price action is doing. If it's eclipsing these zones, showing us strong, potential for a transition. and then back into this range. So, that's DXY. Definitely super, super bearish. And, it's going to be pretty interesting when I show you these other charts. It's just kind of, the markets are kind of just moving off in one direction. All right, so this is AUD USD. Let's zoom out a second. Super, super bearish, right? It actually came back and passed the lower high, retraced past the lower high right here, right around 0.665, and it's actually breaking another level, another key level at 0.675. So right now it's looking like this has crazy momentum. This is going to come all the way up to the monthly, in my opinion, especially as DXY continues to take a shit. It just keeps falling off. It's not looking great. All right, so here we go. Look how overextended this is. This thing is just pushing and pushing and pushing. So let me go ahead and clear this up for a second. All right, let's see. So a fib on it. Right, so this was that large push. So this is what the analysis was on Sunday. I kind of highlighted this little ascending triangle in here, and it just pushed out and just continued higher. We were hoping to get to the 0.675 area and then kind of reassess, but it just blew right through it. Pretty much no retracement at all. It just keeps chugging and chugging. So let's say we do get a reversal from here. We really want to see a fib level hit. So like right now, I really want to see this area hit. I mean, it could keep going. The momentum could just keep surging higher and higher. But ideally, we want to see, a fib level hit. We want to see structure formed. We want to get in on a, highly probable trade. Good risk to reward. We're not just going to take entries because the market's, looking long, So this is what we could see. Again, staying with a trend as always. This is the preferred trade path. Trying to get up to this monthly, because again, this is the next huge resistance level. This monthly, there's nothing really in between this, so this could definitely just run, absolutely could run. But again, we always want to enter on a key retracement. So this is the preferred trade path, right? Nice pullback, some consolidation, maybe some setups, dojis, morning stars, exhaustion, bullish variations, bullish engulfings. Boom, we're in. Highly probable trade, and then we're targeting all the way up towards our monthly at 0.70800. All right, so then what would we need to see for this for us to start considering short positions? This needs to break a lot of levels. It has to fall all the way back, potentially all the way back into this little ascending channel here. So let me go ahead and highlight this in orange because this is the less likely trade path for bearish opportunities. This is what we would need to see roughly, something like that. We just need to see a lot of higher lows break, good, clear, transition, and then establish of, lower high. And then again, obviously bearish setups, strong bearish setups, pushing this pair lower. So let's go to the daily real quick, see if this makes sense. How does it look? Mind you, this is the prior high that we're looking to get up to, this area around this monthly. Looking pretty good so far. This trend is just super strong. It's literally going straight up right now, and definitely very likely to continue higher. So that's AU. Again, this is super, correlated to USD, DXY, as we just covered. DXY is just in like severe bearish movement. So then AU is in severe bullish movement. So inversely correlated. All right, let's keep going. Move on to AJ. Very, very similar, guys. Super similar to what we just saw on AU. Let's just go ahead zoom out for the sake of trend. Very bearish, right? Strong bearish channel. We're seeing that break. This is the first real break we're seeing in a long time. So again, we're looking to get up towards this monthly, right? Right now, essentially straight up. Price action is moving straight up. Very, very strong momentum. Let's drop to the 4-hour. Like, look at this thing. It's just, all right. So again, a little bit ascending. Oh, shit.
What?
Did it again.
What'd you do?
Hold on.
He did it again? What'd you do?
Dude, this friggin' Mac. Sometimes you just need a, really? Okay. This is unbelievable. Give me 1 second here.
You good? Why? What'd you do?
It just distorted the whole chart. That's what happened last time.
I think that's a you problem, man.
Yeah, probably. I don't have a mouse, so I don't know how to recover from it. All right, we're back.
We're back.
All right, AJ, like we were saying, super, super strong momentum on this 4 hour. And we're looking to get up towards this monthly. So let's go ahead and drop to the 4 hour for a second. Just like we covered on AU, it's got this little ascending triangle that we marked up on Sunday, and then it just continued higher. So we wanted to see a retracement, a test of this, broken resistance, turn support, and then continuation, but it just didn't happen. It just kept going and going. So we have to refib, kind of figure out where the next possible structure level could be. And we're looking for this to here, right? So key levels, we're looking to get the 38.2 and the 61.8. This looks like a pretty big influence area right around here, right around the 50 and this trend line. So I would ideally love to see structure form. You can't enter in a market that's just literally going straight up or straight down. It's just, you can't. You can't. I mean, unless you're trying to take a, risky ass trade, and like, sure, it could pay off sometimes, but again, you're not really following any rules at that point. So this is the ideal trade path. I want to see a retracement, pullback, retracement, massive rejection from this level, plus the continuation higher. And then we could target the monthly. And then we could fill this little range here, 350 pips. It's a good amount of pips. So, this is a good confluence area up here for a target, the negative 61.8 and the monthly resistance level. So it's definitely looking like that right now. Definitely looking like this thing is just going to continue higher, especially with how USD is looking. So let's go to the daily again. Actually, I want to show you guys the bearish potential trade path. Right, so we need to get really, really low. We need strong bearish movement to then consider shorts. Something like this, something like that, and then some rejection down to the weekly. We could see something like this. I even want it to be lower, to be honest. I want to get all the way back below this area. And then we can start targeting towards the weekly, and then we'll reassess. Maybe it'll break again, continuation lower. We'll see. But for right now, this is, it's bullish, and it's super bullish, and that's really it. Let's go to the daily again, see if it makes sense. Yep, it does. So again, we're breaking out of this daily bearish channel. Huge bullish momentum, looking for that retest. And then there's no doubt in my mind that this thing is just going to climb all the way up to this monthly. So again, 300 something pips, 350 pips plus, looking pretty good so far. AU and AJ are especially similar this week. Very, very similar. All right, EU, let's go. Yeah, EU is looking crazy as well. Yeah, guys, but this is what I was saying. Like, the volume is just going absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts this week off this bat. All right, so here's EU on a weekly. Very, very strong bearish channel. Let's go to the daily. Now that we have sentiment identified. All right, so we saw that this is, again, bearish channel on the weekly. Daily consolidation in this area. Huge consolidation. We were trading this for the last couple of weeks. Paid out a couple times, which is pretty cool. Some good trades. But then we just saw this huge bullish trend come into play and just pretty much take out all prior highs and just continued to our new higher high. So let's go ahead and drop to the 4 hour. Kind of get a better understanding of what the hell is going on here. All right, super strong 4 hour bullish trend. Easy to see, right? Higher highs, higher low, higher highs. Now we're waiting for that next higher low. So we had marked up on Sunday that we wanted this pullback. I actually shared this in the premium analysis. I really wanted to see this pullback because this looked like it was a weakening trend, sending channel here. There's a lower high that formed, but it didn't really have that much weight to it. So now we have to refib everything. Didn't really give us what we wanted to see. All right, so there's some low to high there. I wouldn't count that. So we're still yet to form structure. Still yet to form structure. So now we move our new zone up, golden level here, 61.8, 38.2. 38.2 is looking pretty nice right now, actually. I like this area. It's a nice area. So we get a nice MA pullback, structure formation at the 38.2, continuation higher. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and mark this trade path. I want to see something like this. Nice pullback. Again, so this week, especially right now, we're waiting because everything's so overextended. You're not really going to get a great trade opportunity unless you see structure form. And, we just got to wait on that, honestly. So Let me go ahead and clean this up a little more. All right, so this is the preferred trade path. We're looking to get all the way up to this monthly here. All the way up to this negative 61.8, which again, let's check the daily, see what that says. This is a key resistance level. If we look left, key resistance level at 1.13. So that's where we're looking to get. It does have potential to get to the monthly, but again, we're taking it one level at a time. We're literally targeting our next significant resistance, and that's right here at 1.13. Okay, so super, super bullish. Let's see what we would need to see for this to go bearish. This has to get all the way, it has to break through all these higher lows, it has to break through, and then even more so this weekly. So it has to come all the way back to here for us to be then considering short positions, all the way down to here. That's so far away because this thing has been so freaking bullish, right? And then we need to see confirm lower high, massive, massive bearish volume, continuation lower, and then the lower high established around this weekly would be ideal. So this is what would need to happen essentially for this to go bearish. We need to see all this bearish volume come into play, all these levels needs to break, and then, you know, just a trend lower. So for right now, super, super bullish, definitely a little overextended for my liking. But, you know, this is definitely the preferred trade path right now. The likely trade path is blue arrow. And let's just get a quick range on this, actually. Almost 200 pips, 180 plus. Not bad. Not bad. But definitely looking crazy, guys. This week is something else. Let me just zoom out a little bit here. So, yeah, just look how extended this thing is. Like, it just turned bullish here, found support here at 1.09, and then never looked back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of huge bullish volume. Absolutely crazy. Breaking all kinds of resistance. All right, so that's EU. Pretty nuts. EJ, we can expect something similar, actually even more volume, which is, it's like it's pushing to new highs right now. Let's zoom out a little bit. Understand that this is a primarily bearish trend, hugely bearish channel, right? But on the 4-hour, we are seeing this, we saw this transition happen. We saw this break, right? These lower highs got pretty much erased. These resistance levels got blown through, tested a support, higher low for established, and continuation higher. So that's where we're at right now. We're in this strong ass 4-hour trend, and this thing is just going higher and higher. So right now we need a pullback. This is like, you can't enter on this, you know, like look at all this volume. You can't enter on that. We're so high up here. We're near this weekly resistance. You know, it could fall back pretty swiftly, in which case, you know, we were looking to get in on some sort of retracement. But for right now, this thing is just trekking higher and higher. So let's go throw a fib on this. So I'm going to go with a daily fib because this is such a massive move. So this is more so a daily move, in my opinion. Let's just say we rejected at the weekly for the sake of drawing fibs. Just for the sake of drawing fibs. Let's drop down to the 4-hour now. That's always the worst, how extended this gets on the drop. All right, let's say it rejects at the weekly here. We would need to see a pullback to this area, somewhere in here. This little confluence area, you got this trend line, you got this 38.2, golden level, a little bit of a box pattern that we saw on Sunday that we highlighted. So we would need to see something like this. Just want to see a pullback. Strong pullback. Give us that entry. High probability trade, good risk reward, you know, following our rules. And we could target back up to this level here, which is just past this negative 27. Key resistance, good amount of pips, just over 300. So yeah, this would be a nice trade actually. If it pulled back right to 38.2, found some support in this pocket here, not bad at all. Not bad, especially with the supporting trend line. Again, I typically don't weigh trend lines like that heavily, but again, it's good to identify a trend. So like this 4-hour trend here, this would be a nice pullback, and then we could just target higher. But guys, let's just look at all this volume. Look how extended. It's literally straight up. Like if you put your hand on it, like it's literally straight up. So we have to wait. We definitely have to wait.
Yeah, to answer the question in the chat, this guy's saying he watches 5 pairs, nothing's happening in the last 2 days.
Yeah,
I'll take a little example. I mainly watch 4 pairs. UJ is like the last pair that I like to trade. I just realistically don't like to trade it. And yesterday I took a position on UJ. Wasn't as clear as I am on my core pairs that I trade, and I got stopped out. So just wait. Wait on trades that you want to take. If you watch 5 pairs, you don't need to go look for trades on other pairs, because the reality of it is you don't have experience on those pairs to trade those. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you just got to know when to wait. You just got to know when to trade, when not to trade.
Wouldn't it make more sense to just go and back test the pairs that you trade, and then you'll be able to be more confident in future positions? Like, that would make totally more sense than going to look for other trades, because what are you really going to look for? You're realistically going to look for losses and pain and suffering. So
yeah,
don't do that to yourself. Stick to like 3 pairs. If you're a beginner, stick to 3. I like to say you could look at 5, and then once which ones move the way that makes sense to you, go to 3, 1 to 3 pairs, and just focus on those pairs. Like, I see a lot of beginners focus on literally 1 pair and trade, again, with 1%, $200 account, nothing more than that. Because the reality of it is, if you become skillful at trading, if you develop an edge, you can scale up, the amount that you make. If you suck at trading, no matter what amount you have, you're going to continue to blow your account, continue to lose, so you can't focus on the money, guys. Don't focus on the money. Focus on your position. Focus on managing your account effectively, 1 to 2% every trade. You can't look at it as every trade is a means to make back your previous trade. It just doesn't make any sense.
You'll blow the account before anything else.
Yeah.
So I still have to cover gold, but I also wanted to say here, so this week is kind of like shifted. So everything kind of just like the gates open, the market open, and everything just kind of started running. It didn't really give you an entry opportunity because, so we analyzed on Sunday. We saw this, triangle pattern breaking this, pushing higher outside of this, rising channel here. So the entry was pretty much at market open, and it was just a breakout entry. It wasn't even like a retest. So that happened on a few pairs, and then this thing just hasn't looked back since market open. We've literally opened at 5 p.m. on Sunday, and then the market just went off. It just took off. So that was the only real entry for this week on a lot of these pairs I just covered, USD pairs especially. Other than that, again, we're here at Tuesday morning. There's still plenty of week left, so we could see, some structure form midweek. But yeah, this is pretty much it. It was Sunday. Sunday really just opened and took off. All right, so I'm going to cover gold. Gold actually might be pretty damn close to another entry. So off the bat, let's jump to a daily. Get sentiment, bullish, super freaking bullish. This was our major monthly resistance level. If we look left, tested a bunch of times, finally broke through, tested support, consolidated, and then started continuing higher, forming higher highs. So let's go ahead and drop to a 4-hour. See where we're at. All right, so this was that higher high we just talked about. Came back for a retracement, found some more support around this 200 EMA and the 1695 handle. Still very much bullish. This is a higher low, much higher than this. This is also a higher low. So higher low, higher low here, higher low. And now we're continuing higher. So we're breaking past 1720 resistance, finding support, holding on the MAs. So this is a good sign. Let me go ahead and adjust this actually. I want to show you guys where a potential entry could be. I'm actually going to drop to the 1-hour on this. I have actually been in a long position since Friday. I put a very small position in just because I like the way that this was breaking out. I took an entry somewhere in here, right? I knew that this was a strong support area after it had broken. And again, I'm totally comfortable taking that. This is a good position. My stop loss is well outside the 1720. And if it did break this area, then, the trade just wasn't ready. And it's, the trade, my rules are there. My rules were met so far, and this would be looking more like a bearish movement lower if I did see a break of 1720. But for right now, we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty damn good. So this is where your potential entry could be. If you guys are looking if you guys like trading gold or whatever, let me just go ahead and mark this, see if we could get a, 4, boom, something like this, okay? So this is what you guys want to see. This little break right here. This is a nice little bullish variation happening right now, actually. So maybe a little something like this, break of resistance, because obviously this is a significant area just because of how many times it's been tested, once, twice, in this area, 3, 4, 5. So like it's pretty good. It's a pretty strong resistance area. And if it breaks, we want to see it turn into support and then confirm it. in which case we'll enter as there, there'll be an entry opportunity in there. So we're still going to go long. Again, I'm still talking about this 1800 handle. This thing is going to be hit sooner or later. We're going to hit 1800. So that's what I'm targeting for right now. Something like this. Let's see a break and retest, and then we're long. Sometimes I hate this friggin' arrow. It's just all right. 1800. Let's zoom out for a second. Go to the 4 hour. See if it makes sense. So we're going to be hanging out on the 4 hour until that level breaks. So we want to see first a 4 hour confirmation, right? And then we could drop to the 1 hour and start looking for more precise entries. But for right now, this is where we're looking. This is definitely where we're looking. So just looking for that break and retest. You guys can enter in here somewhere, right? Your trade, it would look like this, essentially. 1800. Whoops. Right around this 1800 handle. Make it a 2 hour risk reward. Very good trade still. Where is it? Very, very good trade still. And then again, it doesn't matter about the pips. It's like 280 pips, but it doesn't matter because your lot size is going to be adjusted for like 1% or so. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. Very bullish on gold as always. So break, retest, continuation higher. That's where we're looking to go. All right.
Yes.
For the daily, just take a look and see how it makes sense. Yep, dude, this is so likely. I'm just literally just a matter of time before this happens. So all right, quick recap. DXY. We covered DXY, AU, AJ, EU, EJ, and gold. And now I'm going to pass this off to Angelo. He's going to get into some of the majors.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Oh, yo, I like that emoji. What the hell?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
I put reactions. I was testing it out, seeing what's up.
I like it.
So, all right.
I want a fire emoji.
Let's take a look. Hop over here. Boom. So this is that UJ trade I was talking about. No bueno. No
like,
bueno.
look at this, guys. It's just friggin' skyrocketed. But that's kind of interesting for UJ because,
I mean, I should have been on this daily time frame. We'll go over this. We can go over this right now, honestly. All right, so this is UJ again. This pair have not been trading much recently, but I did take a little trade yesterday, and this is a trade I've been following pretty closely on the monthly time frame. We actually had so we actually had this bullish engulfing on the monthly, which is pretty telling, off of this weekly level. So obviously showing more buyers than sellers, even though we're below these moving averages. Right here, down to the weekly time frame, I have been bearish on this for quite some time, but we got a lot of bullish momentum here. We got inverted hammer, both show signs of reversal. Yeah, Youssef, definitely a nice pair. Both showing signs of reversal here from this bottom, and then we had this more lower volume candle, which caused me to maybe say we're going to pause and push down, but obviously, the volume took us higher. So down to the daily time frame, this is how I'm breaking things down. So I woke up, check my phone, huge drawdowns now. Yeah, no, it's tough. But this is actually, I'm gonna go over this right now though. With UJ is we had this high. Let me delete this, just clear this up a little bit. So basically what I'm looking at with UJ is we had a break here. We had this low made, lower high right now, pulled back through the moving averages, crossed, started to ride the moving average down. This is my lower high right here, guys. This is my lower high. Now we're getting another pullback. We're looking for the next push downward. We're looking for the next push downward. For me, what made this trade invalid, why I was so uncertain, is because we were not really in this area. We were not in an area of much daily confluence. We had the 618, yeah, but there was no really major key level for me. Like up in this area, we've got this support level now turned into resistance. We've got the 200-day moving average. So we've got a few more confirmations as opposed to here. We don't have much. Here we don't have much. And I was actually looking for price to pull into this area before shorting. So that's where price now is. So for me, again, I'm still bearish on this, as you guys know, still staying with that trend. What threw me off was down to this 4 hour time frame. I was looking at structure, and we had seen a break here. We saw a break, retest, started to get a lot of confirmation that this could potentially fall. Then obviously this just continued. And if, a good thing to do when you're unsure of a structure break, something like this, I talked about somebody within the group. This was very news related, pushed down, pushed up kind of right away. Back on the daily time frame, that was just this wick respecting this moving average. So overall, there was just not enough confirmation to head lower. I risked half what I normally do on this. End of the day, you're not going to win them all, and it's important to be transparent in that sense. So no big deal that worked out the way it is. I am looking now that we're up in this area. Not right away, but let's just size this up. We're coming up into this area, which again has a 200-day, has this. We need to start to see something similar to this variation right here. We need to see something similar to this before we start to consider any sort of short opportunities. So I'm just going to go back, go down to the 1 hour, start to see what's going on. On the 1 hour, we pushed to that high. We got a pullback, pulled back through, broke this, started to make this lower high here, broke this, had a little bit of a fake out, breaking above, but inevitably these were all entries. Entry here, stops above this area. Entry here, stops above this area, and then even lower. As this thing continued to fall, this is a descending triangle, so you could have entered right on the break lower, could have entered right there. You know what I'm saying? Protect yourself with stops above this level up here. So that's just one way that I'll go back based on where price is right now, and I'll kind of just forecast the future idea. This is going to take a little while to play out, very similar to this. There was, I'll go on my famous little bars patterns here. There's going to be some time that's going to need to be elapsed before this really does play out. Let's bring this over. So inevitably, this is my little trade idea that I'm waiting to see happen. I'm looking to see this be tested and then start to see some confirmation like on the daily time frame, then on the 1 hour, break it down. So UJ, I'm just sticking back up to red. Red means that no positions are available right now. So no positions are available right now. I'm just going to be waiting on the higher time frame before I get involved with anything like that. So let's go over to USEF. USEF, obviously, we caught this huge move lower. Let's bump up to the monthly time frame on USEF. Something I'm seeing right now is look how many dojis form, how many spinning tops in a row in this monthly time frame, really showing signs of us slowing up, potentially having the ability to pull back now. That's what I'm looking at on the monthly time frame, above this weekly level of support. Let's bump down to the weekly, start to see things a little bit more clearly. Weekly time frame is very bearish in the sense that if we just take out little trend line, boom, something like that, obviously very bearish, trending downward. Most recently had this bearish engulfing here, bearish engulfing here. Obviously this doji form right there. So we got to see, if we want to take short positions, this thing has to down to the daily time frame. Daily time frame has been bearish. We are still above this daily support level now. These were all lower highs that had formed. We're above this daily support level, support. We're testing that level, formed a doji. So I'm thinking that we could reverse. I just want to get down to the 4 hour. 4 hours where I really see structure the clearest for me, because the weekly were bearish, the daily were bearish. 4 hour now, 4 hours bearish in the sense that lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, retest the low, lower high, new low right here, pulling back. So this was my little prediction was pull back to one of these levels, then much similar to right here, start to get some confirmation and head lower again. So we're just waiting to see how that plays out. If we were to take short positions, I would need this to break below this red zone and retest. before heading lower. That's what I would need for that to play out. But again, we're just waiting. We're waiting. We're gonna stick on the 4 hour. We're sticking this to red right here, USEF. So nothing very immediate right now. We're just gonna wait and see how this plays out. Let's go over to NU. So all the way on the monthly time frame, NU is now pulling back into some confluence area, some bearish confluence area. Look previously how this thing has moved. Pulled back, fell, pulled back, fell off. So we're getting that pullback now. We've been bullish the last few months. We've been trying to catch this bearish opportunity though, over and over again, because that's what the overall trend is. Like, look on the weekly time frame. Obviously, this thing has been trending bearish. Made a low here, lower high, made a new low. We're really looking for this next lower high now. That's what we're looking for here. So all the way down to the daily time frame has obviously broken bullish. Daily time frame is very bullish. We're now retesting this supply zone. That's what we're in right now. So we're inside of the supply zone, 200-day moving average, everything like that. But look previously before this dropped off. It did something very similar. This was daily structure, this lower high, this lower high, this lower high. Then it broke to the upside. It continued to ascend bullish. I could see this thing continuing to ascend into this monthly level. And then all of a sudden we started to get the fault break, or a little bit of a rejection here, moving averages crossing. And then, these are all the entry opportunities before it really just dumps. So I'm looking for something similar to that, maybe a couple more days, this thing climbing upwards and then inevitably falling, back down into this area, continuing this weekly trend, and continuing the monthly bearish trend as well. Those are the strongest. So this is we're going to look for this area up here for that to play out too. When it comes to today, I'm not exactly thrilled about longing into this higher area, like taking longs. It's all the way at a high right now. Very hard to protect ourselves, into this area. So I'm going to just wait on that, stick to my rules. Let's go over to GU. GU, very similar. We got this monthly time frame. Basically, the monthly has been bearish. Form this low, lower high, form this low, a lot of rejection off the weekly level, a lot of wicks. Now we're pulling back. Moving averages obviously still bearish. And let's come down to the weekly. So the weekly, again, we're just looking to form our next lower high. Up here we started to form a lower high, bearish engulfing. We were looking for sells all in this area, then inevitably dumped, ton of pips, dumped 150 pips. So we're looking for that next move, on the daily time frame. This thing is coming up, hasn't broken structure yet. Daily time frame is actually coming up to a nice level to retest. So I do see the next opportunity with this pair as being rejection of this entire area. There's a ton of bearish confirmation here for us to reject and head lower. So I'm looking for that to be respected, for us to reject this area and for us to head lower. So that's GU. Again, we're up on the daily. So this is, like you said in the chat, I'm waiting for these things to play out. I'm not trying to just take trades. Then UCAD. UCAD, obviously, we went over in the live session on Sunday, and it played out a little bit more quickly than we thought. We talked about in the live session a potential entry, and that entry ended up being freaking huge, 240 pips to the downside. So basically, what I'm seeing with this was we had a little bit of a rectangle form showing signs of continuation. Now, a lot of bearish momentum here. We've been covering this for like so many sessions. We were looking for this to drop back down into this area, which it has now. At this point, I feel as though we're about to hit a lot of support here. Let's bump over to DXY. Again, DXY is, falling pretty low as well. I could definitely see DXY eventually pulling back, a little bit. We'll see how it tests, this 200-day and everything like that. So back to UCAD, UCAD obviously very overextended. Every time frame is bearish. Every time frame is bearish right now. I'm going to remove this. Obviously, it's not relevant anymore. This isn't relevant, all of that. You know what I'm saying? These lower time frames, I'm looking, what's my next move on this? To me personally, next move is something, potentially on this weekly time frame. Not sure if this is going to be relevant to us at all, but, we see this zone, obviously resistance, turn support. We have this gap right now that it's retesting. I'm just going to wait and see. Next short opportunities for this would definitely be retesting this monthly. So as we start to pull back, similar to this, as we start to pull back, I'm going to look for shorts based on rejection of this monthly level, as we try to head lower. So all of my pairs right now are on red. They are not on the lower time frame. So I'm really not looking for entries right now. I'm going to bump over just to GJ, and I want to take a look at GJ real quick. Obviously, we were forecasting this thing to go up, in our last session. That's exactly what it had done here. So now at this point, we got to check on GJ all the way up to the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame is very similar to this right now. Very similar to this. We're surging through some daily resistance, daily structure, and now we have the opportunity to ascend even higher than we are now. I'm just going to drag this across. Boom. So what I can do right now is I can look in this area, very similar to this. This was a lower high that had formed in the daily. This is a lower high that formed in the daily. We're breaking above there. This thing could potentially start to move a lot higher. And what will realistically most likely happen is we will get a break above this 200-day like this, and then we are going to retest it. And all I'm doing right here is looking similar to this. Retest it, and then we will decide whether we head higher back into this trend line. And whenever there's, guys, a little tip for you guys, whenever there's a break of structure on one time frame, bump up to the next time frame. So right now, this needs to obviously confirm and close, but right now, the way that I see it is, this is structure for me on the daily. As this breaks, all I'm doing now is bumping up to the weekly, and I'm comfortable in the sense that, okay, weekly time frame is obviously still bearish. This is our weekly lower high that needs to break. So as this daily continues to surge into this weekly level, I'm looking for that next weekly opportunity, that next weekly sell opportunity. Like I had said, at this point, what looks to be the most likely scenario is on the weekly, we come up all the way to retest these moving averages. So that's why on the daily, I'm forecasting a little bit of a break, retest, entry, and then going long. So just to recap, just went over GJ, went over UCAD, looking for this thing to continue to fall. GU, looking for it to come up, retest, and then fall out. Here, NU, looking for this to come up, retest this zone, and then fall out. USEF, looking for USEF to pull back or just break below here, retest, entry. And then UJ, I'm looking to retest here, do some consolidation before heading lower based on this daily time frame, making this daily lower high. So that is all the pairs that I have for you guys today. Obviously we just went over a lot. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat right now. And yeah, so that's pretty much the conclusion of the live trading session. There's going to be no giveaway today. We do have this little sale going on right now for lifetime signals. There's 2 spots left. So for you guys that are interested in getting involved with signals, all of our trades that we go over in the live sessions, we are putting in the signal room, putting in the premium analysis, like we had said in the beginning of the session. Normally this is $75 per month. Right now we're just doing $150 one-time fee, and then you get everything included. And yeah, we're excited to share that with you guys. We're excited to do these live sessions. I believe we got another one tomorrow, right, Nick?
Yep, absolutely. Tomorrow and then Wednesday.
Yes.
Wednesday and then Thursday.
We got another session tomorrow, 9 a.m. We'll be on here. This is obviously recorded. I'll post this afterwards, and that is pretty much it for the live trading session. So I hope you guys have a good day. A lot going on in the world, so stay safe out there. Definitely fight the good fight.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. And guys, stay positive. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning.
yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for being part of the team and supporting us. Peace out.